Hello there, my name's Annette with Sunbeam Fabric Art. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to take you along on a little fixer-upper project. So come along and I'll show you what I did. What you see before you is a t-shirt pillow that was made by my daughter probably about 10 years ago. She participated in a play and got a t-shirt, and she stuffed it and tied it after cutting strips around the edges of the t-shirt. I asked her if I could take it home with me and try and do a makeover on this pillow, and she agreed. I wanted to preserve as much of the t-shirt as I could, so I went around the pillow very carefully, untying all the little strips that she had tied. I thought I'd try and give the t-shirt a nice wash to see if I could get any of the 10-year-old stains out. I wasn't really successful on that, but at least the t-shirt was clean to work with. While the t-shirt was in the wash, I took a look at the stuffing that was inside the pillow. My first idea was that I was going to have to cut up the stuffing with my rotary cutter, which is why I have my cutting mat flipped over to the wrong side. And lucky for me, I discovered very quickly that this stuffing just pulled apart so easily, almost like cotton candy. So I just pulled it all apart. And the reason I wanted to pull all that stuffing apart was to make the redone pillow nice and fluffy instead of lumpy. My next step was to take a sheet of interfacing that I picked up at a garage sale, and I wanted to reinforce the t-shirt material by putting the facing on one side, and it is iron-on facing. So I cut it to size and I carefully pressed to make it stick to the back of the t-shirt. My next step was to take scissors and cut off all the excess facing. Next, I laid out the t-shirt front and then the back. I did some measurements so I could figure out how wide this pillow was going to end up. I cut two rectangles of this heavy-duty tan fabric, and I cut them larger than I wanted the pillow to be, and these are going to be the interior of my pillow. My next step was to pin the front and then the back of the t-shirt to what was going to be the interior of my pillow. And you can see I have the t-shirt front, right sides to the t-shirt back. And I am repinning all those little floppy ends of the ties. Now I took the other tan rectangle and I pressed the ruler measurements so I could see exactly how big I wanted my pillow to be. I used my ruler to find the measurements on this piece of fabric, and then I pressed those so I could see exactly where I needed to pin and where I was going to be sewing. This made it a lot easier for me to put the sandwich together that is going to eventually be a pillow. And you can see here, those lines are really very helpful to me for lining up this other piece of tan fabric on top of the front and the back of that t-shirt, just to make sure it's going to be exactly where I want it to be. I started placing 2 pins near the top of the pillow, and then I changed my mind. I want the opening to turn this pillow right side out at the bottom of the pillow because I'm going to hand stitch that. So I'm placing 2 pins, and I'm placing those far enough apart that I will be able to reach in, grab the right side of the bag, and pull it out. My next step was to go around and take all the pins I had previously placed and move them a little bit beyond the stitch line. I didn't want to be stitching over any of these pins. Next, beginning at one of the pins, I stitched all the way around the pillow on the line I had pressed. And I stopped stitching when I got to the other pin. I did back stitch at the beginning and the end of that stitch line. And last, I did trim off that excess, and then I turned this bag right side out. I restuffed the bag. Next, I folded down the tan fabric along with those little ties and pinned everything in place. Then I pinned both sides of the opening together, and then I got a needle and thread, and I just hand stitched that opening closed. I feel like I succeeded in preserving as much of this t-shirt as possible, and I got it in the mail to my daughter, and I hope she enjoys it. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you had some fun too, and I hope this gives you some idea for a future project you might want to try. Hope to see you back again real soon.